So welcome to our training webinar today. I appreciate you joining me. Um, for those of you who are new to this series, we record an ACT training webinar once a month, and we record them. So for those of you who want to know if this is being recorded, yes, it is. We're going to send you a link to this recording after the webinar is concluded. Also, you can ask questions if you want to. In Zoom, if you click the More button on your Zoom menu, you should see a Q&A option there. Go to the Q&A panel there, and that's where you can begin to ask questions. I believe I have Kristen on the line who's going to help answer questions for that. But that's where you should partake in those questions. Also, at the end, we may ask you for a survey. We really do read all these surveys, and we take your feedback to heart. If you have any ideas for future webinars, just things about ACT that you'd like to learn, or things that may not be an ACT that you'd like to learn about, maybe you want to be included in ACT, just send those along to us. We take all of those, and we find those to be very valuable. So let's begin. And we'll start by going to this slide where my picture is. So my name is Brent Milner. I'm your host today. And as we dive further into ACT Advantage, I'm going to talk about some things about the Advantage suite that we introduced this past spring. Today's event is the last of a three-part series on ACT Advantage functionality. So I hope you were able to join us for the other two. But if not, you can find those on our website at act.com/explore. We record all of these, and we have them available for you to view streaming. You can share them with other people as well if you want to. If you're not already familiar with ACT Advantage, it truly is the most significant advancement for ACT in at least the last decade. ACT Advantage expands ACT's reach beyond what you would expect from traditional CRM, and it positions it at the center of all of your relationship management activities across your entire front office. ACT Advantage fuses together in one solution your customer data with your sales processes, your marketing research, your website, as we'll see today, your accounting system, customer service functions, and much more. We're trying to give you maximum efficiency and productivity. Think of ACT Advantage as an entire business in a box. ACT Advantage includes new features. We've talked about interactive quotes. We've seen online appointment scheduling, email list verification, surveys. We've got web forms and events. Today, we're going to look at project management, account integration, and even a customer portal, making ACT Advantage an all-in-one relationship management solution. So rather than managing and then paying for a bunch of disconnected point solutions, you now have everything you need inside ACT in one easy-to-use app. We're really excited about the value that this unlocks for our customers, and the response so far has been pretty positive. We like to think about ACT Advantage as delivering value through three categories of functionality: sales, marketing, and productivity accelerators. This is the third session, as I've mentioned before, and we're going to focus on productivity accelerators, the new functionality that helps you work more efficiently and better deliver on client expectations. Last month, we talked about marketing accelerators, and in October, we covered sales accelerators. So again, please make sure and check out the recordings for those on our website, and I'll have a link for you at the end of this session where you can go look at those previous sessions. So let's take a look at the productivity accelerators in ACT Advantage. The productivity features in ACT Advantage are unique, and they're powerful in their own way. They include accounting integration, an online customer portal, and project management capabilities. Accounting integration provides visibility into the financial health of each customer right within ACT. You can now view things like your outstanding invoices, any recent payments, those receivables that are aging and past due, even bad debt. You can look at all of this right from a contact record. This is going to save you time. It will ensure that you have a complete picture of your customers, and it prevents you from wasting time on customers who maybe don't pay their bills, for example. With the online customer portal, you can provide customers 24/7 self-service capabilities, empowering them with information like their account number or what products they have, when their renewal or service anniversary is. They can also edit and update their information if they move or have a life change or a change of employment, for example. You can also post documents, provide links, publish some FAQs for them, whatever makes sense for your business. This adds another dimension of service to your customers. It's going to save time and money and ultimately will drive customer satisfaction in a positive way. And last but not least is project management. So if you work in a project-based field, then this will help you efficiently drive projects to completion because everybody is involved, both the employees at your company and your clients. They're all going to be on the same page at all times. With project management, you can effortlessly keep your customers in the loop as a project progresses through stages. The way you do this is you're going to provide a link to check for your customers to check the real-time status. They can read notes, sign documents, whatever the case may be, and all key to managing expectations and avoiding time-consuming check-in calls. So with ActAdvantage, these productivity tools are all at your fingertips. And now we're going to take a closer look at each one of these with a live demo. I'm going to start with the Act Accounting Link feature. Act Accounting Link gives you, like I said before, detailed visibility of each of your customers' quotes, orders, and invoices without having to open your accounting solution. It's going to display aged receivables, the amount invoiced per month for the current and previous calendar year. So this is going to help you save time, avoid double entry, and keep your customer details consistent by allowing you to import and then link and or update your customer details between Act and your accounting solution. So I'm going to start off by going to the setup. It's a really easy setup process. At the top of your Act installation or up top of ActAdvantage, you've got an accounting menu now. And from here, you'll go to Get Started. And this is where you can follow a 3-step process to get connected with your accounting solution. In this demonstration, I think I'm linked to QuickBooks Online, but there are also integrations to Xero or MYOB if you use those solutions as well. Once you make this connection, you're going to then grant permissions so that it allows Act to view, for example, my QuickBooks account. And then from there, you're good to go. There's also an automatic refresh feature, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But once you're all set, now you're connected and you can start to see the connection taking place. So I'm going to look up one of my contacts. Her name is Sharon, and I'm going to look up her record right now to show you what this might look like. Now, in my QuickBooks account, I have phone numbers for Sharon, but in Act, I don't. So what I need to do here is link Sharon to my QuickBooks account. And the way to do this is to go to your accounting menu and then click Link Update Customer. Now, this will check my QuickBooks account to see if it finds somebody who matches that name and email address. And there she is. So what I'm going to do is just select this customer so that that QuickBooks account customer is now linked to my Act contact. And there we go. We can see here's the information that's coming over from QuickBooks where I have phone numbers for her, but in Act, I don't. All I need to do now is check the boxes that I want to update in Act and then click the Update Act button. And this will then copy those phone numbers over from QuickBooks into Act. So this is just a great way to kind of keep your data consistent across both places here. Now I have phone numbers for Sharon here. You can also import customers from your accounting app into Act by just going to this Import Customers feature. This will look at your entire customer database over in QuickBooks or wherever. And the ones that are currently linked are already in Act. The ones that are not have a check mark here. So you can import those records into Act if they don't already exist in Act yet. I'm going to look at another one of my customers where I have some actual data in here. Her name is Allison, and I'm going to look up her account to see what her accounting details entail. Now, what we've done is we've added a new tab at the bottom called Accounting Link. When you click that accounting link tab, it's going to now pull that data over from, in my case, QuickBooks to show me all of the invoices that I have with this customer. You can see I have 3 invoices over here on the left. 2 of them are paid and 1 of them is still open. If I click on any of these invoices, it's going to show the line items on the right. So these are the things included with each of the invoices, and those are being brought over directly from QuickBooks into Act. Now, Allison sent me a payment for this last invoice, but I haven't yet marked it as complete in QuickBooks. So I'm going to jump over to QuickBooks real quick. And again, I'm not an expert on QuickBooks, but I have looked up her account here and I can see this invoice. I'm just going to mark it received because I want to show you what happens in Act when you receive payment from somebody in QuickBooks. I'm just going to mark this as paid today. We'll just call it a cash payment. I'm not going to get real fancy with this. And I'm just going to click record and close. All this is doing is it's marking that invoice as now paid in QuickBooks, but I want to show you how that then translates over into Act. So now on Allison's record, if I click this refresh sales button, what that's going to do is it's going to refresh all the data from QuickBooks into Act for this account. And it's going to show me now that this invoice has been paid. So we can see that that connection is always taking place here. And when I click the refresh sales button, it brings over the latest data from QuickBooks. But you may have noticed in the getting started area, what you can do is you can set up an automatic refresh so that refresh data happens more often than having to click this refresh button every time. What if I have customers who have open invoices in QuickBooks? Is there a way to look them up and to group them all together in Act? And the answer is yes, because I use the magic word. The magic word is groups there. So if I go to my groups area in Act, earlier I created a group called customers with open invoices. And I'm going to look at the details for this. If I click add remove context, we can see the rule that I created. When you're integrating Act with your accounting solution, what I didn't mention earlier is Act is going to create a bunch of new fields, a new table to contain that data inside Act. And one of the fields is called accounting sales. What this does is it tracks the status. The table is accounting sales. And one of the fields in that table is the status of any of those invoices. So what I've done is I've created a group to look at that table. And on that table, whenever the status is open, I'm adding those customers to a group here in Act. So what I can do quickly is look at this group to see I have 5 customers who have open invoices in my database. Now, each customer is only going to be listed once, even if they have multiple open invoices. So if I were to click on Robert, for example, and go to his detail view, look at the accounting link tab for Robert, we'll see that there are several invoices for Robert. So he's only listed once in that group. I would have to go to his detail view to see each of those individual invoices. I've also created a group for customers who have past due invoices. That's pretty important to know. I have 3 customers who fit that bill, and I've even customized these columns to show me how severely past due they are. So in Robert's case, he's got invoices that are 30 days overdue, 60 days overdue, and over 90 days overdue. He's very delinquent. So I might want to have a phone call with Robert. Definitely want to maybe cut him off from being able to order any more things from us, or just because he's been past due on all these things. I could use this group as well to follow up later and send an email campaign to these customers to say, hey, just to follow up, you are past due on some of your invoices. Maybe click a link to that area where they can then send payment to me. I can even switch gears here and look up a group of customers who have purchased a specific product from me in the past, or purchased a specific service from me. So I have one product, it's called Sanitizer. And again, as I look at the rule for this, there is a line items group, a table inside there. And if I just look up the item name, I can specify which item I want to include in this group. So anybody who has ever ordered Sanitizer from me will appear in this group. And I don't care if it's an open invoice or a paid invoice. Anybody who fits the bill will be added to this group because now maybe I can market to them. If there's an update for the product or a product recall, or if I want to market similar products to them, I can use this group to accomplish that. So that is the accounting link in a nutshell. I've scratched the surface on it, but what I really wanted to do is just kind of show you some of the things that can do to simplify your life um, by integrating ACT with your accounting app. Next up, I want to take a look at the online customer portal in ACT. The online customer portal allows you to create an online client portal that is integrated with Act Advantage. This is going to enhance your customers' self-serving capacity. It gives them 24-hour access to their account and then also visibility into their customer data from your Act database. So your end customers can then make changes to their own records and then have those changes immediately appear within ACT. You can also provide other kinds of pages to them, pages for documents for them to download, pages into the other areas of ACT Advantage where they can do additional things as well. So I'm going to show you a few examples of this by going into my online customer portal. This is available inside the additional features of ACT, and there's a button called Online Customer Portal. The first thing I want to do before we even talk about the pages I've created is I want to look at the details for my portal specifically. So when they log in, I have an introductory text that I can provide them, also some footer text showing my company's location and so on. But you can also set up your user logins here. So what I've done is I've created a new field inside ACT called Portal Password, and I've assigned that to be the password field for my customers when they log in and set their passwords. This field is going to be encrypted, so I cannot look up customers' passwords, but that's just a placeholder where those passwords are being saved. I can also set up password rules here. So I have it set up to have an 8-character minimum, and then I'm using numbers and letters. I'm using uppercase and lowercase and special characters. You can use any of these combinations depending how strict you want your passwords to be. I've also limited this portal to a specific group of my ACT users. I'm limiting it to my email group. I've also limited access. I'm only limiting it to the contacts in my database who have a Gmail email address. That was the easiest way for me to set it up. You're going to do it differently from that, but there are, just wanted you to know, there are ways that you can limit it so that not all of your contacts need to have access to your portal. You can limit it to however you want. There's also some style customizations you can make at the bottom, and we'll look at how these affect your portal when we take a look at the portal in just a second. The second thing I'm going to do is look at my pages that I've created here. So I've got 3 pages, and one is for customer information and documents. So I'm going to let them edit their address, their phone number information, their email address in my ACT database. If they move, if they change phone numbers, I'm going to let them manage that themselves. I also have a place where they can upload documents to me. If they need to send me contracts that are signed, anything that I might need, I'm allowing them a place to upload that. The second page that I have is letting them schedule a meeting with me. So in one of the previous webinars, I used my online appointment scheduler. This is going to link them to that, where they can schedule a meeting with either myself or somebody else on my team. And then the third page gives my customers the opportunity to sign up for my monthly newsletter. Again, this was something that I created in a previous session, but now I can just link to that from their online portal. And now I could click the new button at the top here to create new pages for them. You can create pages based on your ACT data. You can create a static page if you have a frequently asked questions page that you want to share with them. And then we can link to other areas in ACT Advantage, or even link to external pages that you maintain on your own website. All of those can be available here inside the portal. So my first page is called Your Address and Documents. I'm going to edit this just to kind of show you what it looks like from the editing standpoint. There's two tabs here. There's a general tab and a detailed view tab. The general tab just lets me know I'm connecting to the data source from the contact table in Act. Because I want to allow my customers to edit their contact information, that's the table I'm connecting to. And then over here on the right, you can enable or disable this page. Say you need to take down a page for some reason to make an edit. You can just toggle this to disabled, and that will remove your customer's ability to see that page. The ordering over here lets you order the order of your pages, so which one appears first, second, third, and so forth. In the detailed view area, I'm showing the fields that I want my customers to be able to see and edit. So right now I have basic address information, but maybe I want to include the phone number and email. Let's scroll down and let's add those two fields here real quick. I'll look at my phone. I'll add that one. And then I'm going to also add my email field by highlighting it and then clicking the right arrow button. Now, when I scroll down, I can see that phone and email are there. That's not checked. That just means it's going to be read only. If I check the box, that will now let the customer edit those fields. And you can also click and drag these fields to put them in any order that you want on the screen. Down below the extra feature, here's where we're enabling the file upload feature for my customers. So that's what I'm doing. I'm letting them upload a feature to me. And then what this will do is it's going to write a history record on their contact record to let me know the document has been uploaded by a customer. Beneath that, you can choose which file types you want them to upload. There's several different types of files here. Word documents, image files, and so forth, Excel. I'm just going to limit it to PDFs only for now. And so that's it. I've created that page, and I've created a few other pages. Schedule a meeting with us. This links directly to my group calendar in Act. And what I'm doing is I'm letting them access my product information calendar so that when they click on that link, they can schedule a meeting with anybody from who has access to give them information on product information. And this was a online scheduling feature that I highlighted in a previous webinar. So let's have a look at what this will, how this will appear to customers. When I click preview, it's going to bring them into hopefully the login screen here. I've already logged in as Robert, and this is what Robert would see. So he's going to view, I changed some of the fonts so it looks a little bit unique. You have total control over the fonts that you're using, the colors that you're using, what colors the buttons are when you hover over them, and so forth. So let's say that Robert logged in here and he wants to update some of his information. What he would do is click your address and documents, and then this is going to show his information here that's in my system. There's no phone number for Robert, so he would click modify and then just add his phone number, 505-555-68765, whatever his phone number might be. And when he clicks save, that phone number will be saved and brought into the ACT database. Robert can also upload a file. So let's say he wants to upload a document with me. Maybe he's got a file that he wants to share with me, a contract, for example. Here's a contract. He's going to open that contract and then upload it, and I'll show you where that appears now in ACT. If I go back to my ACT database and I look up Robert, Barker is his last name. If I go to his history tab, we'll see that here under the web activity results. So remember, you have to turn on your filters for web activity to see these. These are going to be under history type, under e-marketing, under campaign, web activity. As long as that box is checked, you'll see all of the results that come in from Act Advantage. And we can see that here is not only do I see that he has logged into the portal and he's updated data in the portal, but he's also uploaded a file to me. So I can click on that file to then view it. It'll download it to my browser where I can view it from there. Let's say that Robert also wants to book some time um, with me from the portal. There's two places to get to this information. You can click home and then go view each of the pages that I created, or you can also use the menu at the top, which does the same thing. So when he schedules a meeting with me, it's going to take me into my online appointment scheduler that I've previously shown you. So maybe on Thursday, he wants to book time with one of my representatives. We'll just say he wants to book time with me. Maybe I'm not available on Thursday. Let's book time with Gwen then. And he'll set a time at 2 o'clock on Thursday with Gwen. And again, this links directly into ACT from the appointment scheduler. Once you create this appointment, it's going to be booked for Robert and it's also going to be booked for Gwen. If I look at Robert's activities now, we'll see that he's booked time with Gwen for Thursday. I believe here it is at 2 p.m. The last thing that I've created here in this, let me go back a little bit here, is the ability to sign up for a monthly newsletter. Again, this is just another link to a page that I've created previously, and this is going to be included as part of the customer portal of items that Robert can view. So the next thing I want to show you here is ACT Project Management. ACT Project Management is really meant to help you track and plan and manage your products right inside ACT. You can assign tasks to your users or your customers. You can monitor the progress of a project and then collaborate with your team. And we're keeping this in a centralized, organized workflow without all of the complexity of traditional project management tools. In this example, I've got a project to install machinery at a customer's location. And so I've built out my project by phases and tasks, and then I've assigned those tasks to my crew. I also want to give one of my customers access to this. I want her to be able to log in and follow our progress in real time on her own whenever she wants, so that she doesn't have to call me to get updates all the time. She can just log in and look it up on her own. So we're going to go back to the additional features area in ACT, and we're going to click on Project Management to launch the tool. I've got the one I'm looking at here is this canning installation project for Lumberyard. So when I click on that, it's going to take me directly to the project itself. At the top, you can see there are tabs that show all kind of information about the project. I'm starting in the Tasks tab because I think this is the easiest way to kind of explain it. Projects are made up of phases, and each phase can contain one or multiple tasks. This view here shows me where we currently are in the project. All of my completed tasks are hidden, and this helps me quickly figure out where my status is now. Currently, we're in the installation phase, and we're on the task labeled Install Stage 1. Over on the right, I can see that this task is 60% complete, and the overall phase is 43% complete. If I wanted to get a bigger picture view, what I would do is toggle this on to show completed or abandoned tasks and phases. Also, I'm just going to collapse everything, and we'll just take a really high-level view of this project. So when I collapse everything, it's just showing me the phases. I have 3 phases to this project: preparation, installation, and training. From here, I can click the left arrows to expand each of these one by one. So, for example, if I expand the preparation phase, I can see that I have lots of tasks under here that were completed. Over on the right, I have assigned each task to my employees and even some customers, such as the second task, which was meet to discuss needs. This was a meeting between my staff and the decision makers from the customer's company. So that's why there are so many people here. Each task also includes a target completion date and can also carry a cost component for billing and budgeting your hours. I didn't incorporate that into my project, but that piece is there for you as well. You can also nest several levels of subtasks underneath each task if you want. If you want to include more granular details, you can add a new task and a subtask and just really kind of nest this out. I'm going to go to my current task though, which is install stage one. When I click on it, it's going to show me the details for this stage. There are several tabs at the top. The details tab will let me set the dates when this should begin and when it should complete. It also lets me set up any costs that I have, the estimated hours, my progress, its current status, if it's in progress or complete or not started. There's several different statuses that we can include there. If I need to increase the priority, I can make this a high priority item. And it also lets me assign this task to not only my employees, but also customers if they're going to take part in this task. On the Relations tab, I can create dependencies either before or after this task. And what that really is the task that must be completed before this task can begin, as well that the tasks cannot begin until this one is complete. This is going to help me design the time frame behind this project. On the Comments tab, my crew can leave remarks specific to this task so that I can see any comments that are related to this task specifically. And there's also a place for file attachments if I need that. Once I figure out the dates, the durations, and the dependencies for my task, or for my project, then what I'm going to do is go to my schedule area. This breaks down my project in a timeline for me. If you've ever worked with Gantt charts, then this is going to look familiar to you. Basically, the way this looks is on the left, I have all of my phases and my tasks listed out, and starting with their dates and their durations. And then ACT displays the calendar or the timeline over on the right. So as each of these gets completed, we get a strike through formatting that takes place so that you can quickly find out where you currently are in the project as a whole. There's a zoom button on the right. You can zoom out if you'd like to see a weekly view or even a monthly view to get the project as a whole. Those tools are there for you to look at as well. And this is an interactive view. You can add tasks. You can click to drag dates if you need to. If you need to increase the dates that this is going to take, you can just drag them out a little bit to increase that however you need. You can also draw connections from one task to the next to set up dependencies like I've done here. If we go to the Participants tab, this is where I would add anybody who has any stake in this project. The top section here are my employees, and then the lower section are the customers. These are people who I may or may not want to give access to the project. In the case of Becky, I have granted her access. And what this allows her to do then is to click a link that I'm going to email her so that she can see the progress that I've made here. If I edit this, this is where I could choose which permissions I want to give or withhold from her. So I'm letting her view everything. I'm even letting her write some comments and reply to comments, but I'm not letting her modify my task status or my dates. I don't want her to touch that at all. So here's the link that I would either copy or email to Becky. I also emailed it to her. When you create the access like this, you have the option to send an email to the customer. And so here is the email that I sent to her with a link to the project. So when she clicks this link, it's going to open up the project in a tab in her browser where she can then view the status of each of these, but she cannot make any changes. She can leave comments if she wants to. Test comment. This is Becky. And then that will be available for us to see when we log in as well. She can also jump to an overview of the project itself to see overall charts and graphs to show the progress of how things are going with this project. So it's a really good way for you to give a user interface to your customers whenever you're working on a project so that they don't have to call you and ask every day, how are we doing? How are we doing? This lets them look that up on their own. A few other options here are goals. Uh, Goals lets you create measurable milestones, which will help you shape or plan your phases and your tasks. The obstacles tab lets you identify anything that might threaten or delay your project. In this case, customer will be away for the last 2 weeks of December for a holiday. I need to know that because I might not have access to their site during that time. So I made a note of that at the beginning of the project. Let's go back to the main project view now. And what I want to do is show you um, when you're setting up a project like this. Let me go back here. There is an internal project creation wizard, which will help you walk through everything I've already shown. So when you're creating a new project, you can run the wizard, and that's really helpful. That's what I use to create this project because it asks you all kinds of questions. It helps you plan it out, helps you add dates, add the participants, and so forth, so that by the time you're done with the wizard, that project is completely built out for you. Also, using the settings button on the right lets you set up a few other things. You can link a project to an opportunity in Act. So when you create a project, Act will automatically create an opportunity for it so that you can follow that along in your sales pipeline. You can also have projects automatically create activities. Whenever you add a task to your projects, it can create an activity in Act and put that on the calendar and assign it to the appropriate people. Also, you can allow Act to create history records whenever a task's status is changed, and you can create notes automatically whenever you add a comment. So in the example of Becky, if I look up her contact record, I'll be able to see a few things that she's done. When I click the Notes tab, we'll see that she left a comment on that project. So I'll see that comment on the project itself, but also for the history on Becky's contact record. So projects is a great way to, I'm sorry, I said not history. It's on the Notes tab. My bad there. When you need to manage your big or small projects, you can use projects here inside Act Advantage. It's fully integrated with your contacts and your calendars and your opportunities inside Act. We greatly appreciate seeing you on this webinar here today and also with us each month for our regular training webinars. I mentioned this link at the start. You can go to act.com/explore to sign up for any upcoming webcasts to view them live, or if you just want to view recordings of any of the ones that you may have missed. I recommend the last two because that's where we started diving into these Act Advantage features here. There's a ton of great content there. There's even a recording that we did, a recent webinar where we featured our CEO. He covered some of the commercial aspects of Act Advantage, such as packaging and pricing. So check out those webinars from that series as well. And you can email us too at team@act.com if you have suggestions or any ideas for future webcasts. We really do love getting that feedback from all of you. So thanks again for attending, everybody. We're going to stay on the line here to answer any remaining questions in the Q&A of Zoom. If you're leaving, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We're looking forward to reconnecting with you in 2026. So have a great rest of your year.